Hi, Quad Kid here. I'm going to do a short tutorial on how to determine elevations. What I've done is you need to have Google Earth Pro installed on your computer, PC or Mac. What I've done is I've gone to a local spot here in town and I'm going to try to measure the elevation to the peak of the dome that's on this building. So once you have Google Earth open, first thing you want to do is go up here to the polygon icon. Click on that. A window will open. Go to altitude. Over here where it says clamp to ground, you want to drop down that window. Click relative to ground. Slide that out of the way. Then you need to create 4 points. A little square icon will appear and you just click once, twice, 3, 4 times around the object that you want to measure the elevation on. Then come over here and click on the ground slider, and that's going to present a plane that you can adjust. Once you move it off the ground, you can control it with your up and down arrows on the keyboard. Sometimes it gets stuck a little bit, so I got to move it a little bit more. And it doesn't want to come up past that. There we go. So right now, and then you can just click it to the top of the building that you want to measure. I usually go until one click disappears above the highest elevation. That gives me a 40-meter elevation. And that's about all you need to do to determine the elevation. This will work. I'll go ahead and clear this out. And let's try this over here on this telephone pole right here. So we'll do the same thing. Go to polygon, altitude, relative to ground. The 4 points that you lay down will always be at ground level. Slide it up. And as you can see, sometimes it's a little, it's a little glitchy. So I bring that down to the top of the pole right there, 13 meters. So that's the best way to find elevations. This will work on trees, it'll work on buildings, it'll work on pretty much anything you can get 4 points around. Okay, now that we know how to determine the elevation of a building, this is that same dome that we measured earlier and in Lithci mission. If you notice, looking straight down, the top of the dome or the image is skewed to the left a little bit due to satellite imagery. You cannot get this perfectly straight and underneath you. So we'll just do a hypothetical mission here real quick. We'll make the top of the dome a POI. Then let's do a quick point of interest. Let's say we take off over here in this lot. We know the elevation of that building is about 150 feet high. So I'm going to go to 150 feet and we'll focus POI. So we'll fly it over the parking lot. And I'm just going to do a quick POI around this. This is going to be rough. I'm not tweaking the curves or anything like that. I just want to show you this discrepancy that happens with Mission Hub. Okay, so now that we have that set, I'm going to go ahead and export this as a KML to look at it in Google Earth. Okay, I'll just throw that on my desktop and we'll just leave that name new 3D path. We'll save that. I'm going to minimize Lithci for a minute. This is the new 3D path right here that we just made. I'm going to double click on it, and in Google Earth, to show the flight path, this is it here. And if we look, I got to try to get a straight down perspective on this. I'm just trying to get a minus 90-degree look at it. Now you can see how skewed the flight path is. It's much farther away from the dome here than it is here. So this is the discrepancy when using certain images from Mission Hub. And when you actually fly this, it is going to fly according to this path here. So we'll go ahead and get rid of that. We'll go back to Mission Hub. We'll go ahead and clear this mission. Now, the way you want to do this is you want to use it in the map format. Do not use satellite format. Now, we'll do the same mission. Okay, we'll create a POI here. I'll move it right on top of the dome so we're dead center. Then we'll go ahead and start pretty much that same mission. 150 feet above the ground. We'll bring it around here. And we'll bring it back home here. So that's the same mission using the map and not satellite. So now when I click it to satellite, it shows it's skewed the opposite direction than the KLM. But watch what happens when I export it as a KML 3D path. Going to do the same thing. I'm just going to overwrite this one. Actually, it created another one. It didn't overwrite it. So now I'm going to come down here to the new 3D path that I just created. I'm going to double click it. It'll automatically open Google Earth. It'll bring us down to the same dome. We'll get a 90-degree perspective on that. And if you notice, it's much closer to the actual flight I want to fly. The dome is much more in the center. And other than, a little tweaking to smooth this out, this would fly just fine. Okay, now that I went ahead and tweaked it, added a few more waypoints just to get the mission to fly close to what I would like. So right now, everything is planned out in Mission Hub, and if I go to satellite, you're going to notice it's still skewed far to the right. That's okay, don't pay attention to the satellite imagery. Go back to map, and what we want to do now is we want to export as a CSV file. I'm going to go ahead and save that to my desktop. Okay, go ahead and minimize Lithci. Now, to view this as a virtual tour, you need to download the virtual Lithci mission operating program. It's a standalone program. It does not install on your computer. I will make the link to it to where you can download it from my Dropbox, available in this post. So I come up here to virtual Lithci. I use the 1.0.5. There's a 1.2.0 out. Seems a little more glitchy than this one. This one works fine. I'm going to double click on it. The raw window will open. All you do is double click on the virtual Lithci mission application. It'll open this up. A little audio intro. What you want to do is you want to go to setup. Leave everything the way it is. You can select what drone you're going to be using to get the right field of view. So we're just going to use the Mavic for this one. Go to browse, browse to where you saved that CSV file. Okay, you're going to come over here. This is the file I saved. It's automatically going to open Google Earth. I just minimize this out of the way. Okay, and there is the courthouse that we're going to fly. Once you get to this point, you go over here and you'll see under temporary places, the land courthouse. Just click the arrow down, click on virtual mission, double click on the mission, and it's going to give you a preview of your Lithci flight on how it is going to fly around the point of interest that we selected. Now, it's 3D rendering in Google Earth. It's not going to be like looking out your camera, but it gives you a good idea of what the drone is going to do during the mission. So that's pretty much the mission I planned. And that's really all there is to it. And this will give you a good idea for tweaking Lithci missions, without leaving your PC. And I hope you find this helpful.